Welcome, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. What do you want to talk about today? You want to talk about how rare we are, how misunderstood we are, how we seem to know a lot of stuff that's going to happen, but people really don't want to hear it. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, actually. All those things are true. Um, I did take a little look at the INFJ search there, and there's a video. I've seen it before. I don't remember watching it. It's from 4 years ago. How to spot an INFJ. How do you spot an INFJ? I don't think you do. I don't think it's possible, honestly. A lot of us don't even know we're INFJs that are INFJs. All we know is that we're weird. You don't really necessarily know why. You just know you're not like other people, and you just figure, well, that's the way God made me. It's kind of like being the maybe a black sheep, or an albino or something, right? And it's all good. It's all okay because you know what? I think so much of what constitutes our life and existence is based on conditions. I don't think that's all there is. I'm not a straight up Buddhist, but he was definitely on to something there. What what you experience is the conditions that create your conscious lived experience. If you change the conditions, you change the consciousness. But what you don't change, I think, is the animating presence, the fuel, the energy, whatever that is, the awareness, right? That is consistent, and that is the thing that is conditioned. It's like clay. You could squeeze it through. When you were a kid, you had like star shapes or square shapes or round shapes. You could squeeze the clay through any shape. You could even mix all the clay together. You get a brown clay. Squeeze it through a shape. There you go. Cut it. You got stars, or you got circles, or whatever. That's the awareness. I think we're a bit of a little more unique shape in a sense than a lot of other people. But another thing, well, these are all beliefs I entertain, not that I absolutely believe foundationally, as I've discussed before, about the only thing you can say in that regard is that you exist or I exist. I don't want to speak for you. And you know what's interesting? I don't know about you, but I got one of the temple guardians chewing on themselves over here. I don't need that. Um, I'm awake every day, and then I go to sleep, and then I sleep, and then I'm dreaming. But when I'm dreaming, I don't really know I'm dreaming. I'm just having more experiences, and I'm completely engaged with those experiences. I'm not actually separate from them. And unlike, say, the persistence of the reality that I'm assuming you're inhabiting with me right now, where I'm going to make this recording, I'm going to upload it, and it will be there until the server farm at YouTube is destroyed by an atom bomb or something, right? It'll be there, and even when it's not there, it might exist on a hard drive here. Uh, or does it? It's like Schrodinger's cat. Regardless, there is persistence when we get up in the morning. I don't know about you. That's what I was starting to say. There's a moment where I go, "Who am I? What's going on?" And then I go, "Oh yeah, I'm the INFJ visionary. I'm here in my temple on the volcano. I am an oracle for the INFJ aspect of Apollo. Not a problem. All good. I remember now." And then I move forward from that standpoint. But it would be quite interesting if you were, say, to wake up in the morning, but you were in someone else's life, someone else's body. I'm reading a very interesting book right now, by the way, that's covering things like reincarnation and possession. And I'd honestly never related the two together, but there are examples of adults that have, say, they go out of consciousness, but when they come back, like in a death-like state, when they come back, they're a completely different person. There's many documented cases of this happening. It's very fascinating. And of course, too, this leads to the idea of what is an individual. And I was touching on so our INFJness, right? Where does that come from? Ren, in one of his talks, was hypothesizing that it was a byproduct of birth trauma, and not birth trauma like things went wrong, just the trauma of being separated from the relationship you had with the mother in the womb. Sure, why not, Ren? That could be possible, but I think it's just as possible that it's a condition that persists from one existence to the next. Are you an INFJ in this life, but in your next life you're an ENTP? Are you going to change that much? We don't know the answer to that, but I do think it's worthwhile to consider these things. And what an INFJ is, at the end of the day, is a series of preferences about how reality is parsed. The number one preference is for intuition to be the guiding force in your life, the thing that generates ideas and insights, and the thing that answers questions, right? And after that comes in the coping facility, right? The extroverted feeling component, which makes it possible to be among other people and to get on and to relate with them. Frankly, if it was just the undifferentiated introverted intuition, that would be quite alien and abstract. I don't think people would be able to relate. Possibly another INFJ could. And that leads me to another thing I was thinking about. I had heard somewhere that, so my wife, as I had mentioned, Mrs. Visionary, or Mrs. Dragon, she prefers to be called that. Uh, yeah, Mrs. Dragon, she communicates in a far less direct way than I do, and that is actually a part of the nature of the INFP. I've known other types similar, like ENFPs, also indirect. My way of communicating is direct, although it's oblique, right? Because a lot of what I'm trying to communicate directly is instincts, intuitions, and insights that are coming from a place of NI. Anyway, I had heard that if you were an indirect sort of speaker, that you actually preferred communicating with a direct speaker. So that would be like the relationship I have with Mrs. Dragon. Um, but that also, I don't know if that's completely true, because I can appreciate people that speak indirectly, but I also very much appreciate people that speak directly, and that ties to the thought that I had about this broadcast. I am not using a script. Sometimes I have an idea about what I want to talk about. Today was one of those days where I really didn't, but I know I wanted to show up and I wanted to chat with you. And so basically, we just set the whole process into motion and we let the conversation come from a place of mostly unfiltered NI. And it's unfiltered because I don't know what I'm going to say before I say it. And you probably have experienced this as well, right? And my hope is that my fellow INFJs, which would be the people most likely clicking on this, unless I say something like why I love INFPs, and then all the INFPs will come click on it just to see how they can, get in tight with the INFJs. But if you're an INFJ, you're looking for insights. You're looking for clues about the nature of your personal reality. I think that's what I do when I'm clicking on INFJ content. And I do believe that you must have an appreciation for the flow of the introverted intuitive dialogue. Otherwise, I would have zero views. Not that I'm swimming in views, but people are interested, and while you keep on clicking, I'm gonna keep on talking, keep on keeping on, INFJ.